Welcome, my friend, to another episode of Valentina Design Universe. We have a fabulous guest today. She is a young sommelier, and she will show us how to have non-alcoholic drinks this coming holidays for those people in our group who, for one reason or another, cannot drink alcohol. Let's think of pregnant women. So she will show us how to do it and what they can drink that is still be part of celebration and festivities. Her name is Nicole Stevenson. Hi, Nicole.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
And your title is International Culinary Center Intensive Sommelier Training. That's what you did. And you are a certified sommelier with a court of master sommelier.
Correct.
And you're also, at the moment, an intern of San Francisco Wine School.
Absolutely.
Right, that must be fun. Wow.
Both wonderful programs, and I'm really enjoying my my continuing education.
Absolutely. I'm sure it is a lot of fun. You're learning all the fun things that go on the table.
Absolutely.
Holidays or not. So you have also a business. You're building a new business, right?
Correct.
It's called Alegrevino.
Alegrevino,
right?
yes.
Alegrevino. And we will talk about that in a minute.
Wonderful.
But I would like you to start mixing your drinks.
Absolutely.
And tell us, what are you going to do? So while you talk, while you do, I do the talking, and you do the actual preparation. So what are you making at the moment?
Great. So the first drink that I'm going to make, we're starting off with an apple ginger shrub, which is the way that we make it. We start off with peeled apples and just the flesh of the fruit, and it comes into contact with equal parts of granulated sugar.
Okay.
You let that sit for a while, let all the sugars and the apples blend together and get that harmony. So I'm actually going to kind of make almost like a sangria.
Okay.
With
And so what is the liquid that goes into the apples?
Yes, so it is about equal parts of the apple and sugar, and that creates a lot of juice.
Yes.
So once I extract the juice, I add apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
And at first, it still is very, the sugar has not been able to absorb into the vinegar and the fruit.
Okay.
But overnight, it kind of magically happens, and then you have this really beautiful, really nice acidic and bright little extra something that you can add to your cocktail that gives it a little bit of a bite. A lot of people do this with lemons, and this is how they make very, very good lemonade. So there's so many things you can do, so many different fruits. And I'm just going to add a tablespoon.
Okay.
Because it is a little strong.
So people don't taste much of the vinegar, more of the apples and sugar.
What's so great is that it saves for at least a week, if not longer.
Okay.
And once you have it really maturing, the vinegar and the acidity with that subsides, and the sweetness kind of takes over.
Okay.
So it does evolve quite a bit over time, depending on if you store it or if you drink it right away. I'm just going to add a few apples. There we go.
So, but then you strain it, right? Before, when it's ready to drink, you strain the liquid, right?
Yes. So I did this a couple days ago.
Okay.
Is when I made the shrub.
Okay.
Is what we call it. And then I'm just going to top it up with some white grape juice, sparkling white grape juice, so it kind of gives that impression
of bubbles.
Of bubbly. little champagne.
Oh, wow.
So your
But
first
this
cocktail.
is totally unalcoholic. I mean, not
Zero
non-alcoholic.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Just vinegar and. I mean, it has all the ingredients to potentially be alcohol someday.
Yeah, right.
But right now it's not.
Sure.
So this is our first one.
Oh, yeah?
And I don't know what we're calling it just yet, but it is apple ginger shrub Meatza Sangria. And what I like about this a lot is that I've used every part of the apple. Nothing really goes to waste with this, and I just give it a quick little stir.
And this is one of your creation, or did you invent this drink?
You know, I think I would say that it's kind of a little bit of both.
Okay.
So you're welcome to try anything to drink up when you're when you're feeling inclined.
Okay.
The next one that I have is a spin on a Mexican hot chocolate. The only ingredient that I didn't use that is really dominant in the Mexican hot chocolate is cinnamon. I personally don't care for cinnamon in my hot chocolate. I prefer the other baking spices like the chili powder and
chocolate
nutmeg.
with chili powder. Ooh,
yes.
hot.
So I'm going to pour a bit.
So tell me about the school you went to. It's how long was it? Was it a
The intensive sommelier training lasted about 8 weeks.
Okay.
And it was 5 hours at least a day.
Okay.
And we trained with 4 different master sommeliers.
Okay.
And that title is a very, very difficult one to achieve. So that was a very unique opportunity. And really, there's no other wine school in the country that can really compete with those credentials. So this is the first one, Mexican hot chocolate. And I did make it, and I will show you, even though it is a mess, in a crock pot. So it's very easy to make. You throw everything in until it's nice and simmering, and then the chocolate bits go in. And I also didn't use the brand that they usually use. I just used a generic chocolate. But
and so these spices go in the pot, right?
Yes, correct. And then the best part is that I made
And so how long you cook this? Because you have to simmer it, right?
Oh, not very long at all.
Okay.
This is one of the easiest ones to make by far. The more difficult part is the whipped cream.
Okay.
So I made this last night, and I infused it with a little bit of nutmeg and the chili powder again, so it's this really beautiful color to it.
Yes.
And I don't care for very much whipped cream, but I also have a big preference on texture of the cream.
That looks so good.
So it is important, at least to me, to not over whip the cream.
Yes.
You want that really beautiful, like silky texture.
So you kept that refrigerated?
I did.
Yeah.
Let me see, there's another one right here. There's a little bit of that.
So tell me again about the school. It's mostly frequented by men or women, or is equal parts?
That is such a great question. So the industry is, it's been a boys' club for a very long time, but we are changing that very quickly. And that is just so exciting for me to be a part of. It used to be that wine, and I am just going to add a little more of the nutmeg on top. Just sprinkle that on there.
Oh, wow.
And that is my Mexican hot chocolate.
Yes, scrumptious.
And I did bring my whisk. This was very handy if you don't want to use it manually.
Right.
The electric one is
But this is a little
option.
more elegant for the table.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives a little more showmanship to what you're doing.
Right.
So then we're going to move on to what I'm calling my Jingle Juice.
Okay.
So like jungle juice.
Okay.
But Christmas time.
Right.
And we used this really great citrus fruit, the pomelo.
Yes.
And I always think of citrus at Christmas time. My grandmother told me when she was growing up for Christmas she got, and I don't know if she's actually telling the truth, because she has exaggerated once or twice before. But
we love those
she
kind
says
of
she
grandmothers.
got one orange.
Yes.
Everyone and all 10 brothers and sisters, they got one orange for Christmas, and that was their Christmas present.
Right.
So I'm
always very familiar to that.
Whether or not that's actually true, I love to celebrate citrus this time of year. So this is a really fun concoction, and I do have the bag, which is just covered in sugar. But this was the, it's called an oleo saccharum. So I peeled all of the skin off of the pomelo. Right. And put it into a bag, muddled it with some sugar, again, equal parts sugar, and let that sit for about an hour. And the natural oils in the pomelo with the sugar came together and made this beautiful, beautiful.
Looks good.
Little
Color.
syrup. But it's so fragrant, if you want to smell it.
Oh my goodness, that's good.
So I wouldn't use very much. That's why we have very, very little in here. I don't want to overdo it, but just a tiny bit.
You could do perfume with that.
That's what it really reminds me of. It's so that's very similar to wine. A lot of wines have that perfumed quality to them. So I thought that was a great great way to incorporate that. And again, we're just going to splash the sparkling grape juice on top.
Sparkling grape juice. It smells so good.
Very simple.
When you make the drinks, whether you are a student in the school or where you are doing it for your clients, do you have to taste everything you make to see that it comes out right? You know, just like in cooking school.
That is the tragic part. I do have to taste everything. Oh, I do have a very difficult job. And
you know, one time I was on the plane, and next to me a woman was sitting, and I asked her, "What do you do?" We start talking, and she was alcohol tester. Ooh. I said, "How do you deal with that?" Because she had to test every alcohol ever made. It's like.
With alcohol,
like, how do you do without getting inebriated all day long?
Yes, that is a great challenge. We spit everything out, and the fancier way, the more polite way of saying we expectorate. Okay. So everything that, and especially at the wine school, we had a sink next to every desk, so that we were able to get through the whole day. Right. Because you are tasting sometimes up to 40 wines in a day, and it can
could be tough.
Yes, I don't think you could remember what you taste after wine number 12 or 13. I think after that, it's even if you're taking like little sips, it's still and spitting it out, you still do absorb some of the alcohol. So that is something that is a challenge.
Right, the first bites are on the top of the tongue, and after that, you can't taste anything else. Anything is.
That's also why we are very considerate of how the order in which we drink wines. Okay. We're not going to start with a wine that is very sugar forward or a like really rustic aged Cabernet, and then go on to a Pinot Grigio after that. Right, because then the Pinot Grigio is just going to taste like the Cabernet that you had before. Absolutely. But I'm just going to add, I did a couple of options for the garnish for these, and these are the peeled pomelos and the fruit inside. The fruit is really beautiful. It's just a little bit sweeter than an actual grapefruit, but very, very similar. So I just give we have two there.
So these are...
this is the sage leaf.
Sage, okay.
I just give it a little slap to
what
release
does the
those
slap
oils.
Do? Just
release
the
those oils.
Yeah, okay.
And then we put that in the cocktail. And then I could also do just a little peel of the pomelo. There we are. And again, there's so much beautiful natural oil and flavor in the peel. That it's nice to give it just a good squeeze. You can see the pores.
Yes, yes.
Just kind of releasing all of the oils Give it a nice rub around the rim.
And then you
in the
put
glass.
it in there.
And those, I think, as far as all of our other drinks go, I tried to go for very fun. These are my elegant cocktails.
That's very nice looking glass.
Thank you so much.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you. Is there a particular glass for every drink you make, or you can just use?
I did consider glassware quite a bit when I was arranging everything. And especially with non-alcoholic cocktails, you want to really focus on the presentation.
Right.
And any cocktail, whether it has alcohol or not, it's meant to make you feel good. So I think with
Is the visual impact.
with a punch
Yeah.
sort of cocktail, I think this nice goblet was really a good choice.
Yes. It's it kind of remind me of a tale of long time ago. In fact, I brought with me this glass. This glass is supposedly, now this is a tale. I don't know if it's true or not. I wasn't there in the 1700. But apparently, this is called the Coupe Glass. Apparently, the Marquise, Madame de Pompadour,
Yes.
a French aristocratic lady, a mistress of the French King Louis XV, had lent her breast to a designer, a glass designer, to have a mold made out of her breast, and it was for champagne.
Yes.
So this, we call this a coupe glass. So basically, if it fits, you can drink out of it.
I've heard a couple of different versions of that story, so I absolutely believe that one of them must be true. I've heard Helen of Troy.
Exactly.
There are so many that it was her breast that was the inspiration.
Exactly.
My absolute favorite, though, is Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
That she wanted it bigger because she heard the legend of the coupe glass and said, but my breasts are so superior.
Yes.
We have to make a whole new coupe glass just for me.
Exactly.
So there are so many great legends with that, but
it is, you know.
I like to believe in fairy tales like that.
Absolutely, me too. So if it's not true, who cares? It's just a nice tale to tell at the party.
Yes.
And especially if people want to drink out of the coupe. It's good to tell a tale, but it's also good to know that the bubbles on this type of glass, if you're drinking champagne, the bubbles will dissipate right away, so that your champagne will go flat, right? So you have to drink up.
Yes, if you drink it slowly, which I don't. So I don't have that issue with the coupe glass, but I do also enjoy drinking sparkling wine out of just a regular white wine glass.
Right.
It kind of meets in the middle. The flute for me is a little, it may be becoming antiquated. So we'll see how...
Tulip, maybe?
Exactly. We'll see how the industry standards change.
Right.
But I really enjoy still the coupe glass. There's something really elegant about it.
It is. And in the Roaring 20s, these were so much in fashion due to the Great Gatsby and all their elegant parties. So one felt I have to have it because it was part of the century then, of the era.
Yes.
But, you know, for me, a champagne or sparkling wine has to be something sociable to sip and not to drink up. You know? So because you want to taste the bubbles, and the bubbles will make you very sociable, because that's what they do, right? That's what bubbles are about.
One of my favorite quotes from an old wine and food expert, Jean-Antoine Brat-Sabran. He says,
my favorite.
He says that Burgundy makes you think of crazy things, so Pinot Noir makes you think crazy things, Bordeaux makes you say crazy things, and Champagne makes you do them.
Absolutely.
And I can attest to that is absolutely true.
Yes, true, very true. I love that guy.
Shall we move on to the final cocktail?
Please.
So this one I really like because at almost every family event, at least in my circle, we always end with some coffee.
Okay.
And I also grew up in Arizona, so it's still a little warm sometimes, even at Christmas, and I don't always want a hot drink. So I've prepared a cold coffee. So this is a cold brew coffee. I'm just going to pour a little bit. Why not? Because they're in shot glasses.
Right.
It's really a crime to drink one by yourself. And with this, I have also made homemade chocolate ganache. Very easy to make.
For the coffee?
Yes, for the coffee.
Ooh, la, la.
I am not a pastry chef by any means. So if I can do this, anyone can do this.
Yes.
But I kept this. I kept this very cool. It changes texturally, very easy if you leave it out. It's really great. I could add a little bit. I did leave some. That is room temperature for the hot chocolate. Sometimes a little extra is never a bad thing.
Why not?
But this one is a little cooler. My intention is to put it just on the rim of the glass. So it's kind of, it's very much present when you even bring it up to the glass. And then we're going to top it off with a peppermint toffee that's dipped in the chocolate ganache. And I'll set that right there. So that'll stick to the edge, like so. And then it's just a great way for everyone to get, and this was the quickest thing that I think
very easy.
that I've ever done.
Yeah, no, these are very easy
Almost
drinks.
easier than making a bunch of coffee and having to make a second and a third pot. And you just pick up some cold brew coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
And then top with the ganache.
Very nice. Cute.
There we are.
Very festive. And for the end of the dinner, it's just fine. You know, after
It's
you have
perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
A
Need
little more
something cold.
sugar because it's the holidays, so we're not
Sure.
we're not shying away from sugar this time of year. And this ganache, I really, it's dangerous. I had to give it all away to neighbors and my hairdresser today because it's so delicious.
I'm sure it will be tempting for you to be doing all this stuff. But anyway, well, we are going to run out of time in a few minutes. But why don't you tell me about your website, Alegrevino? What do you do?
Yes. So Alegrevino came up very organically, and it was a really nice thing that my culinary school, the International Culinary Center, has been so wonderful at helping me get in touch with a lot of my clients, and it just kind of came to be that maybe I need to create an LLC because I'm doing this so often. And it's very client-driven. So it's wine education and private events. I've done, I actually have done a lot of some more non-alcoholic parties if there are children there. If you're,
do you organize cellars and grottos, wine grottos?
I haven't really gotten there yet, but that is absolutely something that I am capable of. Any sort of consultation or questions. If you want to know what to serve at your party, but you don't necessarily want to buy wines from me, you can call me and we can discuss what you want to do, and I can give you a little inspiration. It's really, at this time, it's very much, like I said, very client-driven. I had one class on Portugal, another class on Italy, another class on Pinot Noir. So it's really, you decide and I'll make it happen.
Okay.
That's how we do
So you
it.
have people organizing parties with themes.
Yeah.
You know, just like you said, you know, you want a French dinner, so you pair the French food with French wines, or you do it out of your imagination?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, a little bit of both.
Okay, sounds like a great career.
It's just getting started, so
Yeah.
we'll see what it really turns into.
Well, it will turn into, if you put a lot of effort, it will turn into something really, really good.
Yes.
Because it is a fun field. I mean, wines and spirits and bubbles, they're all part of the good life. So
It makes people happy.
it makes people happy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Do you have any fun episodes that you can tell us? Episodes.
Of like things that have happened,
Yeah.
or actually at the
Things that you spilled on someone's table, it was a good table, or
I definitely have those stories. But I think the one that I'll share with you is at my Italy event that I just recently
Okay,
did.
yeah.
The host wanted all of the guests to prepare a little information on each of the wines. They had a certain
yeah.
wine assigned to them, and some people found that a little daunting. So I was there to kind of get them excited and give them a little keywords to use. But then one group just blew everyone else out of the water, and they did a rap.
Oh.
And they created a whole song about this wine that they were presenting on. And that was easily one of my favorite experiences with Alegrevino.
Oh, nice. So what did they do? They danced, or they just
They
sang?
had outfits prepared,
Right.
and an Italian theme. And I wish I could remember the song, but I don't think I could do it justice right now. But it was just, we were all so surprised, and it was a really nice.
Did you expect
Nice
it? Did
addition.
you know anything?
No, we
It was
hadn't.
just totally
Even the
unexpected?
host had no idea. It
Very
was a surprise.
nice.
So
Very
it's really
nice.
cool to see what other people do
Okay.
with wine and with spirits and non-alcoholic cocktails. Whether you have the knowledge and the wine acumen or not, it's
Very
really always
nice.
something fun.
Very nice. So I enjoyed it, seeing all of this. These are very fun drinks that anyone can do. I enjoy seeing and learning, and I enjoy having you on the show. We need to wrap it up. So have a very happy Christmas and New Year. And so do you, my friends. Happy Christmas and love, peace. Mwah.